I'm telling you right now, I'm like Ricky Bobby. I don't come to lose. And I told you he's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be tough to beat, but let me tell you what, he got the wrong Georgia here, don't he? So I want to tell y'all, if you can hang in there a little bit longer, just hang in there a little bit longer, because something good, it takes a while for it to get better. And it's going to get better. So I wanted to thank you guys for hanging in. And if some of you have to go home, you can wake up tomorrow morning and see that the new senator for the great state of Georgia is Herschel Walker.
For the Alabama, it's the morning, Herschel. And this is the headline, considering what he said last night. It's not over. U.S. Senate race between Warnock and Herschel Walker is headed to a runoff, as we see that with 97% of the precincts reporting, they're still pretty much in a deadlock, and I think still under 50% each. Also, there's someone else to criticize from the Republican Party who criticized Herschel Walker as they were going through this whole thing, and he's still not happy. In fact, he's speaking out about it more. Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, let's go down to this. He said they're waking up wishing they picked a better candidate. Here's fully what he said. Georgia's Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan lamented on Wednesday that the Republican Senate candidate in Georgia was Herschel Walker. Yeah, he just lamented that it exists. He says, I think a lot of Republicans like me are waking up this morning going, what could have been if we picked a better candidate that could have won with a margin like Brian Kemp, that would have been able to put real leadership on display, real ideas on display, win the hearts and minds of Georgians, and get the state back to fully red, is what he wondered. Now, that's what they were trying to do because, of course, Republican candidates that are looking to get into this position, of course, in Georgia as well, to kick out Raphael Warnock, was to go with the same sweeping, one-minded thought process of the Republican Party. So, of course, that's why they put Herschel Walker in there, because he's going to be like, yeah, whatever you say, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, sure. So I'm not sure which other candidate it could have been, but I assume anyone could have been better, Amaz.
Well, Herschel Walker to me is like the opposite of John Fetterman. He's he's highly religious. It goes back to my thing where you don't want to mix religion and politics. And even though he's highly religious, he's still got, and by the way, this is not by any means a critique of all religious people, but there's a lot of hypocrisy in people who thump their chest about their religion. So we saw it with Herschel Walker where he says abortion is bad, and then he goes and pays for a couple of women to get abortions. And the infighting is very interesting as well. It's kind of like after the basketball game when this team imploded and the guy's going, well, we need better, defense or our point guard or whatever. He's pointing fingers, and he's actually right. If they had had a better candidate, they would have stood a better chance. I'm just wondering if Georgia can come up with a better system so that we don't keep getting runoffs every 2 years from Georgia. Can we just get an answer? I mean, Warnock's winning. Just give it to him. He's, literally, he's got to get to 50. So he's down by just, probably like 10,000, several thousand votes. Mm-hmm. And last but not least, I was just in Georgia doing shows in Atlanta, and a lot of great people in Georgia. But why are you voting for Herschel Walker? Like, my whole thing has been like, either don't vote or vote for a sane candidate. I don't care if Republican, Democrat, just somebody who's sane. And Walker is not sane. And I was a Herschel Walker fan when he was a football player, but he's just taking too many hits to the head.
Exactly. What does it mean? I feel like you answered the question there. You said, who votes for Herschel Walker? People who can't separate the fact that they were a fan of him for running up and down a football field versus a fan of him running across the state trying to say anything that makes any sense. One, he was successful at. And he's close to being successful at the second. Let's keep it real. But who looked at what happened with all those scandals that broke free, from the kid lying about his kids to lying about the women he forced into abortions, and go, that's our guy? It means your principles aren't what you say they are. Let's keep it real.
By the way, he and Trump in cahoots, they're together. And let's not forget, when they got together for the USFL, it also failed. So
true. History repeats itself.